let's get into Bitcoin real quick here. Now, Bitcoin, if we take a look at the chart here, it is bouncing once again off that key 92,000 area of support, getting a little bit of a move up here. So right now, and we talked about this yesterday, you have resistance at 108, which has been perfect, that level I gave you guys, and support also at 91 to 92, which has also been perfect.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Gareth Soloway breaks down the charts and macro data like nothing publicly exists. Usually kept for institutions, Gareth reveals tactics, trade levels, and analyses that will blow your mind and make you a better investor.
Now, as a technician, you could say, okay, well, which way is this going to go? And the answer is pretty simple here, right? So when we look at this, you have to say, okay, first of all, we don't know for sure. Nothing is in stone. There's no 100% in this game of trading or investing. But what we do know is we just want to follow the levels. So as of now, we have resistance up here. We have support down here. Let's watch and see which way it confirms. Now, based on the bigger trends, this is very interesting, in fact. This trend line goes back to the 2017 bull market high and connects through the 2021 highs before we tagged it right here. In general, the longer a trend line goes back, the more powerful the trend line. So if you look at this trend line, this one only goes back to November. So yes, it's support and it's been holding up beautifully, but this would be, if you rate these, this would be a 10 out of 10, right? So in terms of strength, and this one would be probably a 4 out of 10. And so what we could say is that, granted, we don't know for sure. I mean, a 10 of 10 can be broken. It's just less likely, but it could be broken through to the upside. But the more likely scenario is if we keep hammering here, eventually we go lower. I also am wondering if we get into January and the NASDAQ starts selling off, could that be the culprit? Like, the way I could see this kind of playing out, and again, I'm just gaming this, right? Again, no, there's always a chance that I'm totally wrong. That happens very often. So again, down. What if we do that? What type of pattern is that? So going into the holidays, it's unlikely the NASDAQ sells off. We could float higher. Looks like that's what we're doing today. You kind of go sideways to up on Bitcoin, but what type of pattern does that form? Classic bear flag, right? So again, that would be my expectation there. Okay, and again, remember, everything we talk about is probability-based, so I'm giving you what is most likely going to happen, not necessarily what's going to happen, right? And that's just the nature of it. I wish I could be 100%, wish I had a magic crystal ball, but don't have that. No one in this world has that, and we just have to rely on logic, common sense, and technical analysis, all one and the same. All right, next up, let's quickly look at gold here as we take a look at the gold chart. Gold, again, if we just stretch this line out here, we can see, again, we're kind of just hovering right around that support area right there. Here's your midpoint. I think pretty cool to see the midpoints all align. In fact, we should add another circle here because this one worked perfectly right there as well. So, again, going back, look at how the midpoint of the parallel has worked as well. By the way, that just adds credence to the power of the parallel, that it is a big parallel. Overall, I don't really have it, like I said yesterday, much of a bias one way or the other here. It's close to 50-50, whether it's going to break down and go test 2,500 or is it going to break up. What I will say is that the gold miners are starting to look very attractive.
MicroStrategy Chairman Michael Saylor shares how dollar cost averaging on Bitcoin paid off for a patient investor who flipped his investment over 20-fold. Bitcoin evangelist Michael Saylor often promotes dollar cost averaging DCA. The enthusiast encourages investors to periodically buy Bitcoin and recommends holding the asset for at least 5 years. Dollar cost averaging involves investing a fixed capital into an asset at a set interval, regardless of the condition of the market. It helps in reducing the impact of market volatility by spreading out purchases over time. Recently, Saylor shared a success story of a user who bought Bitcoin daily with a meager investment. Meanwhile, the vicious Bitcoin buyer has turned his little daily input into millions of dollars, lauding Bitcoin's rewarding promise. According to Saylor's disclosure, the smart money investor committed to buying $30 worth of Bitcoin daily. The user unrelentingly pursued this course for 9 years, specifically since 2016, when Bitcoin traded under $800. As of the time the news made the rounds, the user had spent $98,640 on the pioneering crypto asset. Meanwhile, his investments have paid off massively, as Bitcoin has surged from under $800 to a new all-time high of $108,000 and trades slightly below the $100,000 price mark. Interestingly, the user's Bitcoin stash is worth $2,157,090, a staggering 2,086% uptick from his total capital. Such profit trounces the return on investments from traditional assets like gold, stocks, and bonds in the same time frame. Meanwhile, Saylor stated that MicroStrategy is mirroring the ardent investor's periodic buy-ins on a larger scale. Notably, the business intelligence firm has accrued 444,262 BTC, $43.6 billion, over 4 years, with one-third of them acquired this year. MicroStrategy has introduced a new scheme that leverages debt instruments to acquire more Bitcoin. The 21/21st Bitcoin strategy has boosted its mine capacity while gaining traction among public companies like Metaplanet and Marathon Digital. Furthermore, in his latest disclosure, the MicroStrategy chairman voiced Bitcoin's live transformational qualities. He noted that holding the premier asset for 5 to 15 years promises substantial returns. Saylor encouraged enthusiasts to start dollar-cost averaging on Bitcoin, citing the user's magnanimous returns. The long gain can set you free, the Bitcoin evangelist noted.
Today's the day where volume is going to be very light. What does that do? It means that generally the institutions are on vacation. Therefore, you have retail, which generally doesn't sell the market heavily unless they're scared. They're not scared right now. And in general, they're not shorting, right? Shorting is something that very few retail investors do versus institutions. Now, if we look at the market pre-market here, we can see the volume is super light and we're just floating gently sideways to up. So it's looking like a neutral to positive open. I would expect very thin trading action throughout the day and overall a neutral to upside bias on the markets. Now, just tuning in to the S&P daily chart. All right, so here we are in the S&P. Remember, we tagged my key target right up here at 6,100, literally to the point. We since then have dropped sharply and then are retracing. Now, in general, when you see a big red candle like this and it engulfs past candles, that's a bearish technical indicator. So again, what you're looking for is when you get one of these big down candles like this here, which is what we got right in here, you generally will see a neutral to buy upside bias, buy the dippers coming in, and you start to do this sort of pattern. That's exactly what we've started to do here. Now, the thing is, for those of you that know your basic technical analysis, we know that a sharp down move that engulfs past days, which is what happened there last Thursday, I believe, that again is bearish, and now we're creating what we would refer to as a bear flag, an inside bar pattern inside of that. Essentially what this is digesting the big down move. So you have the big down move, kind of creates a little bit of fear. Then you have some buyers coming in and saying, oh, well, every time it's gone down like this, it's rallied to new all-time highs, so let's buy back in. But when you get the bear flag, what is that telling you? It's telling you that there's also sellers here that are continuing to unload. So you get the buyers, right? The buyers coming in here, but also the sellers. That's not good. That's telling you again that it's digesting the move, and the path of least resistance more often than not will be another move to the downside. Now, it's almost perfect in that this sideways to slight up consolidation period is occurring going into the holidays because, again, what do we know about the holidays? It's mostly retail investors. So those retail investors are inching in. There are some sellers creating that bear flag. The idea being is that when we get back into January, I would start to look for another leg down in the markets, okay?
A Santa Claus rally refers to price gains in crypto in the last 5 trading days of the year and the first 2 trading days of the following year. The performance of the crypto market is, therefore, key during the 1-week time frame from December 27, 2024 to January 2, 2025. Bitcoin's decline from its all-time high has raised concerns among BTC traders, and hopes of a Santa Claus rally have dimmed this cycle. Between 2014 and 2023, crypto markets rallied post-Christmas. Crypto markets experienced a pullback instead of a rally. 3 times out of 10 in the past decade, with a correction as steep as 12.12% pre-Christmas, during the ICO bubble of 2017. As BTC hovers around $97,000 on Tuesday, December 24, a pre-Christmas rally seems unlikely. BTC could gain post-Christmas if there is a revival in institutional interest in the largest cryptocurrency. Crypto's total market capitalization, excluding Bitcoin, started its recovery this week. The daily chart shows bullish signs that support a thesis of gains in the market cap of altcoins, making it likely that alts observe a rally post-Christmas or within the first 2 trading days of 2025. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.